Culturally Clueless.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for being here. It's time for Culturally Clueless. And this week we have a big time surprise. So make sure to stay tuned. We have also a good few interesting topics. Maria, al-Nashmi, and I are here. We're going to talk about Triple N, the new Namibian female president, and Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, is liberated. Yes. And we're also going to talk about the Encampment documentary produced by Breakthrough and Macklemore, and much, much more. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, this is a premiere. As you can see, she's finally here on camera. You guys don't have no idea how much I had to go through, but it's okay. Hi, Maria.
Hello, guys. As promised, after Ramadan, we are here to everybody in the comments. They're always supporting the podcast. You asked for it, and here I am. I'm very uncomfortable. I don't like it. So please forgive me. Be nice to me in the comments. I'm super uncomfortable. I cannot even move.
Please be nice to her. I'm begging you guys. Please, 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 please. Okay. al-Nashmi is here. al-Nashmi, salam. How are you?
Sister Ness, Maria, hope all is well. Thank you for having me again.
No, thank you for always coming to my rescue.
I just want to say you're one of the people who are the most easygoing thing. But a question before the audience will ask, are we ever going to get you on camera?
Hopefully, yeah. Why not? Soon.
Ooh, okay. but listen. Here's the thing. You can't tell these people. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop asking until you do it.
True story.
I don't know if you ever checked the comments. If you checked the comments last time.
I do check the comments, sister. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully soon.
So you see what they're doing to Ray and Maria. They bullied them.
Yeah, I'll commit to that, sister. Hopefully soon.
Okay, inshallah. Is it an inshallah, like an Arabic one or a real
yeah,
one?
it's an Arabic inshallah.
Oh, so it's not, don't believe him, guys. Don't believe him. The Arabs here, they know.
You remind me, sister, of my daughter. Every time I tell her something and then I say inshallah, she goes running to her mom. That's it.
Yes. No. Oh my God. That's what my parents did to me. I'm traumatized by inshallah. I'm telling you, like all Arabs are actually. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, because they don't want to say no, right? So they say inshallah just to not hurt your feelings.
You think that's what it is? They don't want to give a hard no because they don't want the drama.
Yeah, exactly. They'll give you hope.
They care about your feelings?
No, they just give you hope. That's it.
Oh my God. Okay. So be kind and be nice to Maria because she's really stepping far out of her comfort zone, and I'm very proud of her for that. So, Maria, you have a question for us.
Oh, yeah. I even forgot my question.
It's okay. Your question, because you told me, because you knew you was going to forget.
I know.
Is it ever too late? You remember?
I think it is. I think, yeah. Yes, I know. Like, because no people say, like, oh, it's never too late. It's never too late. And I was like, I always say, like, no, it can't be too late. If you don't do things on the correct time frame, or when things actually matter, why even bother after? Like, if you hurt someone today, you're going to ask for forgiveness 10 years later? Why? You see, that probably over it. So I think that for most of the thing, there is a time frame that actually matters. What do you guys think?
Well, I agree. But it depends on the context.
Exactly.
It depends on the situation. It depends on the context. For example, if you ask me if it's ever too late for education, I would say no. It's never too late for education. If you try to educate yourself up until, I don't know, 80, 90 years old, it's never too late. But if you say if it's too late on specific issues like forgiveness, I also think it's not too late. I mean, I think specifically, I'm a faithful man, so I would believe that with God, Nothing is too late. I mean, God is always forgiving, right? But there is a difference between God and people. Some people might not accept it because it took too long. But for me, it's always you try your best, you do what you can, and I don't think it's ever too late for anything. I mean, if you set your mind to something, I think you can always achieve it.
Okay.
But let's go back to the education part. Like when you mean education, you mean to get a career,
Well, Maria,
a
I'll
skill.
tell you this. I'll tell you this.
Mhm.
The reason I say it's never too late because um, my father, when he was studying his master's degree at the university in Canada, he was sitting in the administration office next to a person who was probably around 75 to 80 years old.
Mhm.
And my father thought that this person is either the father of one of the students in the university, or he thought that he's a professor. And then he asked him, and the guy said that I'm actually here studying my bachelor's degree. And my father was shocked at the time that, I mean, you're like 75, 80 years old. Why are you studying a bachelor's degree? And that, I mean, that question, the person answered that it's never too late for education. I had a hard time growing up. I always wanted to get an education. I always wanted a university degree, and it was difficult for me. Um, but here I am trying to get it before I pass. Um, so since my father told me that story, I've always looked at education as a self improvement rather than a career.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we don't educate ourselves because of a career. We educate ourselves because we want to self improve and become something within ourselves that is better.
Facts. Absolutely. 100%.
Okay,
And
so it's about personal achievement because, like,
yes.
the reason why I got my degree and then my extra the master is because with this I can get better work positions. You see what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Well,
So maybe I guess because the reason, right?
yeah.
Is this a personal achievement? I can understand that,
Okay, but let me
but
ask
is
you guys
this
something else.
for?
Is it ever
Mhm.
too late for marriage?
Well, it depends, sister. I mean, I
I
don't
don't.
think it's ever too late for marriage. No, I don't
So
think
somebody
so.
can marry with 70 years old?
Yeah, I think it's fine, but you have to have. I mean, you have to have some expectations, right?
With
For
some
example, having children is going to be a lot more difficult at
what?
70. But
Okay.
I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't see it as a problem because, for example, I know a person. He's 91 years old, and he has a 3-year old daughter.
About how old is the mom of the child?
She's 50. I mean, she's 50, but I mean,
But how old is he again?
he's 91, and
91.
Yeah, so he's
he
like
has a 3-year old daughter. Yes,
The
and
math
this
is not mathing then.
and this
he's
wife
what,
is
41 years older.
yeah, and this wife is I think I mean his former wife passed.
Hmm.
So he decided to get married again, and he has children from his former wife.
Hmm.
But he decided to get married again. He got married, and he had a child at 88.
I mean, why not? If he can, he can, right? So,
Exactly.
okay. So what
But that,
about?
for example, that's a perfect example.
Mm.
Like a child requires so much work and engagement and energy and all this milestone. He probably not gonna be there. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I think he's not going to be there. I mean, he can. I don't think he's going to live a lot longer than that. But
You don't
you do remember that he has children. I think he has like 5 or 6 children, and they're all above the age of
of his
40.
wife.
Yeah, they're all above the age of 40. So he knows exactly. I mean, he knows that his sons and daughters would take care of his child.
Okay. Then what about telling someone? Like, what about if you always wanted to tell someone something, whatever it may be? Is it ever too late to express yourself to someone?
Well, I think it would depend on the situation, right? What kind of thing you want to tell that someone? Um, but listen, guys, I don't believe anything is too late.
A confession, for example.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late. I don't think anything is too late. I think.
What about your feelings? What about you were in love for this person and you wait too long and that person is already married with a family?
Oh my God, how awkward. You can't just go and tell them.
Well, yeah, I think
You
that's too
see,
late.
too late.
I think that's too late.
I mean, you can tell them, but what are they gonna do? Like,
Yeah, unless you try
But then
to.
you're gonna mess up the whole family thingy. And
no,
Exactly.
but wait, just because you tell someone how you feel, it doesn't mean that it's reciprocated or you mess up anything. If that's something that you wanted to confess, maybe, okay, I get it. But who would do that? Like, come on, that's.
Well, there are
Oh
some
no,
people. For example, there are some people who want to get closure, right?
Oh yeah.
What they do is because of their own self.
selfish reasons.
Yeah, because of their own self improvement, they would do that. Yeah, but I don't think that's a good idea. But I mean, considering their psychological state, yeah, why not?
Okay, but okay. What about, but look, okay. I get that. I get what you mean, and I kind of like agree with you, but it's still very awkward for everybody involved. But if I also think it depends on what the situation is. Are these people still talking and whatnot? But I feel like when somebody wants closure, there is also maybe like a different and alternative closure to, well, this person is with someone else. Why am I going to disturb the peace?
I
Exactly.
agree, and it all depends on the person that is. I mean, the person that's the person how the personality is, right? Some people don't care about how they affect others, and I think that's problematic. And some people
Yes.
don't mind. I mean, some people think that their well-being is more important than others, and so they go ahead and confess. But I don't agree with you trying to ruin somebody else's life or somebody else's relationship. I think
But is it ruining it though?
well, it depends how the other person feels, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But just because you had or you have feelings for someone, it doesn't mean that this person is reciprocating them.
And
Exactly.
what about she does?
I agree.
Well, then they have to figure it out. What can I say?
No, I agree. But if, for example,
Imagine.
if you go to a married man and you tell him that you have
Oh my
feelings for him,
Hmm.
I
As
think
a woman, I don't think you should do that in the first place, but okay.
exactly. And I could say probably, 50, 60, 70% of men would probably want to know more about the issue, right?
Oh,
Oh my God, now
interesting.
you
See?
open a whole different
Yes,
chapter, bro,
yes,
because now we have
because
questions. Well done,
it's
Anas.
gonna trigger the curiosity. You see, it's
Oh,
gonna
this is
tempt
not
them.
good. This is not good.
Mhm.
I don't think it's good, and I think it's because it's. I mean, you could imagine sending a message to a guy that you've known, for example, 10 years ago. Oh, by the way, I just want to tell you that I had a crush on you, or I liked you, or I was in love with you. I mean, the guy is not just going to let it slide, is he?
You think he would not say,
Yeah.
okay, well, thanks for telling me, but honestly, I don't know what to say to this. Moving on, basically.
Well, no, I don't think a guy
Like,
would do that. I think he would be more curious about, hyping himself up. Like, so what did you like about me?
Is this a
exactly.
confession? Is this an admission that men are weak?
Well, yeah, I should
Oh
say.
my God.
Well, this is the thing, sister. I mean, I'm a faithful guy. I believe in God. I believe in the Quran. I'm a Muslim,
Yes.
and
Alhamdulillah.
God in the Quran, He said it very clearly. I mean, women are part of zinat hayat dunya,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Women are the preciousness of this world for men. Men perceive them as diamonds. You understand what I'm saying, right? And they always like to know what women think about them.
Okay, so
Interesting.
what we're basically what you're confirming here is that men have an ego, and the ego needs a lot of attention, and that can be very distracting from what you're supposed to be doing as a faithful person.
Exactly. And I think that, for example, if it was me, my faith would probably stop me from going further. Right? If somebody sent me that kind of message, I would. To me, it because of my faith, it would probably stop me from sending back or acknowledging that issue. But for other men who are not as faithful, or for other men who are
Not religious.
not religious, I think they would most probably, they will try to find out more.
Well, I mean, okay.
So this is why, Ness, sister, I believe faith is very important, because
100%.
it
It
stops
keeps you in
from,
check.
It keeps you in check, exactly. And if you fear God and you know what's right and wrong, I think that gives you it gives you the strength to move on in this world, because it's really difficult sometimes.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, Maria? We have...
Sí, María.
Yeah, we have no, but this is true words. And I know that some people are going to think, like, how can they sit there as Muslims and one agnostic and talk about this topic? This is the problem, that in our culture, we don't talk about these things because it's kind of like taboo.
Exactly. I mean, we're
So
being
anyway, to
here.
everybody in the chat,
Because if it was some other person, I would lie to all of you and say, "No way, that's not going to happen." Oh no, we're straightforward. We men are 100%. But I'm going to be lying, right?
No, and I appreciate that. I'm actually, so look, this is something that I think we already know, but it's nice and it's different when you hear it from a man.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate that. And what you said, you wouldn't acknowledge the message or you wouldn't respond, that would be also not closure for the person, though.
Exactly. But for me, it would be a no-no. I mean, and the reason, again, I said, it's because of my faith, probably. But for other men, they would probably want to find out more. And it's about ego, usually, Ness. It's not really about, whether
Exactly.
they were, whether they would go down that road. I'm not saying all men would do that. A lot of men wouldn't.
Mhm.
But it's just about ego. Like,
Yeah.
because men, as much as women, they do like compliments, and they like to, and they also sometimes have low self-esteem, to be honest, especially when it comes to, how they are. So I think that this just fills their ego, and they love it coming from a woman.
Oh man, I have now a ton of questions.
My question went to another route.
But it's I'm sorry to say that, but it's important, because
It's
whether
important,
people
yeah.
want to close their eyes to it, it happens in every culture. It does happen.
I agree.
But I do agree. I think this is very true. And that's why I always say people who don't have a faith are lost a lot. So the faith is there to keep you in check and keep you balanced.
100%.
So everybody in the comment, please type when if you have any situation that was too late, or you think that never is too late. And please, I can't wait to read what you guys gonna say about what al-Nashmi just shared. It's gonna be very great comment session.
Well, I'm gonna have probably a lot of the sisters are gonna be like, great comments and great stuff, but a lot of the brothers are gonna bash me.
Brothers,
for speaking the truth.
No, man, that's no, that's crazy, because we know that you're speaking the truth, and any brother who bashes you for that is definitely a fraud. Let it be.
And we're gonna delete us.
Let it be known. Let it be known,
sister. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. This is my opinion. At the end of the day, my opinion is subjective, right?
Exactly.
It's my years of experience, and it's what I've seen in the world. I've traveled to, I think, 40 countries. I've met thousands of people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different religions, and this is my understanding of the world. But everybody has their own opinion, and they have the right to it. And I hope that you guys show the same respect to my opinion as well.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well,
they're good. They're good. Our people are good. They're very kind, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say this, and this might bring the mood a little bit down, but I thought about when is too late. Definitely too late. And it always took me to the same place, which is sometimes we don't show people enough appreciation, and then they're just gone all of a sudden. They're just like not on this earth anymore. And it can cause a lot of regrets. And that's why I always feel like it's important to let people know how much you value them. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's the truth.
Yeah. People need to remember that tomorrow is no promise.
Yeah.
Although my status is always tomorrow is going to be the better day. So
No.
Well, you should change it. This might be the better day. Or you put inshallah there, then they know it's not.
I should say inshallah will be a better day. But then my daughter would get upset. Inshallah means no.
Oh, she shouldn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, yeah. So we have our next topic, and that is Mahmoud Khalil again. And so Breakthrough and Macklemore, they produced a documentary series about the, not series, oh my gosh, a documentary about the encampments that took place in Colombia last year at UCLA. And it caused a lot of attention, and it was actually really wild. And I can say I'm so proud of this generation for doing this. And they did receive a lot of problems, to say the least. We have all the deportation. We have visas revoked of 300 students so far. Marco Rubio saying that hopefully they can get rid of them all so that they have nobody left anymore. And that is coming from someone who is not even ethnically American. How disgusting can you be?
Columbia did was simple. It was, let's set up some tents in the lawn of our school and say we have had enough. And the Encampments film shows that story. It shows the story of Mahmoud. We're reminded of student-led protests in the 60s, of taking over Hamilton Hall, Hins Hall. We are reminded of what it looks like when people step up for the most marginalized and risk their educational merits, risk their degrees, risk deportation, like Mahmoud is. Mahmoud is a protagonist in the film in real life, and you see it dispels this notion of any sort of hate, any sort of terrorism, or any notion of anything that isn't literally human beings coming together and saying we cannot fund a genocide. Simple as that.
Maria, talk to your people.
My people? He's not my people. We don't claim him.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
We don't claim him. He's a sellout. That's what he is.
100%. So this encampment documentary was supposed to drop in the summer, but because of the situation with Mahmoud, they pushed it forward, and they're going to drop it now. Anyone interested to watch it?
Yeah, I would be very interested to watch it, to be honest.
Right?
And it is produced by Macklemore, so I think.
What do you guys think about Macklemore's, how do I say this, stance, contribution, and so on and so forth?
Well, I've seen him speak, sister. I mean, I've seen him speak a lot on the stage, whether it's for pro-Palestine.
You attended, or you mean you see that online on videos?
No, I've seen that online, sister.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The things that he says, I agree with 100%. I mean, he's mostly talking about white nationalism, racism. It's not just pro-Palestine issue. He's an activist, and to be honest, the time that I knew him was from the song that he produced, right? The Hind Hall song.
Oh no, but so you don't know the song that he came out with years ago, the Pop Some Tags song?
No, I honestly don't know. What I knew him from was from the Hind Hall song, and then I started following everything that he's been doing. But I've seen him speak a lot on videos. I think he's a stand-up guy when it comes to trying to make change to the world, right?
He's a powerful voice, in my opinion. It is a powerful voice. We need louder voices.
Exactly. And I wish more people like Macklemore, and I wish more people who are more famous than Macklemore would come out. But you know how it is in Hollywood, and it's really difficult, to be honest. I mean, these people are so afraid for their career that they're not willing to speak out. I mean, I know that there are a lot of celebrities out there that are probably more pro-Palestinian than they are pro-Zionist, but they wouldn't speak out because they're afraid of what would happen to their careers.
And you had DJ Khaled, that he's an actual Palestinian and ignoring the suffering of his people.
This guy is disgusting. Nobody needs him. Seriously. Nobody claims him. Nobody needs him.
I mean, sister, I don't know if you guys seen, there was a TikTok video on DJ Khaled. And I mean, part of the video, they were showing the children in Gaza how they're starving and the things that they're going through. And then they show DJ Khaled opening up his fridge with all
Oh,
of ice creams and chocolates and running on the beach. And I mean, it's awful, to be honest. Um,
how can you not care, bro? I don't understand. Okay. Let's not talk about it.
he cares about money, sister. I mean, that's what he cares about. He doesn't care about anything else. But
Yeah, but who would have thought that from Macklemore? I'm trying to find this damn song so I can show you because you will remember it.
I probably know it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
trying to-
I don't know. Probably that it was Macklemore who sang it.
Oh, that song was very not cool, to say the least.
Yeah, I might know it, sister, but I don't know if it was Macklemore. I mean, I didn't know if it was Macklemore, probably.
Oh, then I got it. Give me a second.
But-
Yeah, talk.
But what? No, but why are you saying this? You don't think that he's legit?
No, not at all. I'm just wondering what you guys thought of him.
I think he's a powerful voice so far.
Yeah, for me, his history starts at Hins Hall. Like how the Zayus, for them, history starts on October 7th. Yeah, Macklemore
Right,
starts
yeah.
at Hins Hall.
Okay, this is the song, I think.
You don't like that song?
I hate it with a passion.
Why?
So dumb.
Oh, yeah, I know the song.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I've
So,
heard
yeah.
it, but I didn't know it was Macklemore.
Yeah, it is him.
Why you don't like it? What's so awful about it?
It's just not my kind of music. It's not something I'd listen to.
Oh, but you I thought you were trying to say that he's hypocritical or something.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
I personally think it's fun, but I mean, we have different music tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely we're down to watch the encampments, and we should definitely what do you call it? Support this documentary because it is independent. It is done by this Breakthrough, and I think they put a lot of work into it, and it's not easy to get that kind of content and to support that kind of content. I mean, as in on a mainstream screens. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it for sure as soon as it comes out. I think it's important to keep watching these documentaries, trying to educate yourself on the
100%, and it's history. It's gonna go down in history.
Exactly. And one of the things that I really want people to educate themselves are in the laws of the United States and how it's going to affect them in the future, because it will affect them in the future. I mean, currently what they're doing is they're deporting visitors or green card holders. But it doesn't stop there. 3 or 4 days ago, there was a French researcher who tried to enter the United States, and he had the French have a visa waiver to the United States, but at the borders, ICE checked his phone, and they saw that he, in one of his social media posts, criticized Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they refused him entry. And I think this is extremely dangerous. And I think that refusing entry because you criticize the highest office of the land, I mean, that doesn't make you any different than any dictatorship government, right?
It's insane.
Exactly.
It's definitely insane.
I mean, what differentiates Trump today from Xi Jinping in China, from Putin, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty, I think it's pretty bad. I mean, I don't think the U.S. is going in the right direction. And I look at the process that what the U.S. is going through currently, exactly the same process that Germany went with the Nazis and Hitler.
You may have seen by now that we're premiering a feature-length documentary this week called The Encampments, which is about what really happened at Colombia's Gaza Solidarity Encampment. We were planning on putting it out later in the year, but one of our main protagonists is Mahmoud Khalil. So when he was abducted by ICE, we decided we had to rush this film out the door. But, the last few weeks, we've been seeing all of these lies about Mahmoud and about what the encampment stood for, about anti-Semitism, showing the students as terrorists. And I don't want to spoil the film, but
I mean, Hitler was able to consolidate power within a 6-month period. He did exactly the same thing. At first, it was the foreigners, and then it was the minorities, and then he started attacking the judicial system, and then he dismantled the parliament. So it's extremely dangerous what Trump is doing, and I think I think he has the handbook of what the Nazis did in Germany.
Well, it's all a repeating history, to be honest. It's everything is like it was 100 years ago. But on a good side is there is a South Korean student. She was a green card holder. She was in the US since she was 7. She's 21 now. She sued the US because they wanted to deport her, but she won for now.
Yay.
For now.
Well,
Victories are victories. We take what
we can get, right?
But yeah. And also encourage to other people to fight back, right? It's not just let it happen. Try to fight back if you have the means.
Yeah. So we have a journalist from Gaza who was unalived, like many other journalists. And I always give this example because I want people to really, really understand how deep this goes. The Second World War that took 6 years, 69 journalists were killed. And journalism, freedom of speech, freedom, like, to know what's going on, that's our fundamental rights. Now, in Gaza, such a small place, or even in the West Bank, let's take the West Bank as well, we have over 200 journalists killed over the past 16 months. And who are we talking about, Maria, in particular?
Don't do this to me. I cannot say the name has Hossam. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Hossam, yeah.
So what do you know about him? What can we tell the people about him?
Actually, I know him because of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
All the videos. He report a lot. He makes incredible context showing the Gaza, the strike. We see him running when the ITF, when the tanks were coming, targeting journalists. He was there recording. Like we were so scared, but he was like, I think what happened in one of the TikTok live, that he didn't stop recording. Like he wanted the world to know this. He if you look his name on Google, on TikTok, you guys should be able to find his context. It's an amazing work for a great journalist.
This is Hossam Shabat, the 23-year-old Al Jazeera Mubashir reporter in North Gaza.
أمام صمت العالم أجمع الآن جيش الاحتلال يرتكب مجزرة جديدة.
A brave young journalist who documented the past 17 months of Israel's brutal war on Gaza. He was killed on Monday in a direct Israeli strike on the vehicle he was in, a vehicle clearly marked for press.
حسام شباب يا الله حسام.
Hossam was an outgoing young man, loved and cherished by many people in the Gaza Strip and across the world. Just hours earlier, he was reporting on Israel's killing of fellow journalist Mohammed Mansour and the continued Israeli attacks on the area. Hossam would always wear a clearly marked press vest whilst reporting. He, like many other journalists in Gaza, had received multiple death threats from Israel for his reporting, but continued his coverage undeterred. Hossam was from Beit Hanun in North Gaza, which saw some of the most intense Israeli attacks during the war. He was among those besieged and trapped in the north of the Strip as Israel restricted movement and cut off aid, and one of the few voices able to continue reporting from there. Hossam was cut off from his family for over 400 days. He endured the forced starvation and collective punishment imposed by Israel.
He was only 22 years old or 23 years
Only
old.
23.
He was very young. He was working with some news agencies. He was very determined, and his last message was very, 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 very moving. Very moving. Shame we should have actually had
sister,
it here.
I mean, sister, that's what they do, right? If you look at what the Israelis did from the beginning of this bombardment, this genocide, is that they refused entry of all media outlets into Gaza. The journalists that were there were specifically targeted. they were specifically targeted. And the reason they specifically target them is because they don't want the world to know what's going on. And, and that says a lot for people who call Israel the only democracy in the Middle East, right? I don't think it's the only democracy. I think it's worse than any other country in the Middle East, to be honest.
In the world, almost.
In the world. I mean, there's no other war or conflict that have killed so many journalists as much as Israel has in the last 2 years.
Is only one reason why would you target journalists? Because you are afraid of the truth.
Yeah, you're trying to hide the truth. You don't want people to find out what's actually going on. And we spoke yesterday to a lovely girl from the West Bank. Ness was there, and she said that one of the things that these people are most afraid of, are the cameras, because cameras provide evidence that are undeniable in court, and whether it's on the international stage or wherever it is, it's undeniable evidence, and this is why they hate cameras. They put most of the, for example, Al Jazeera journalists on target.
Yeah.
And the claim is always that these people are part of Hamas.
Yeah.
Jazeera usually, knows their people. They know who they are. They know that they're journalists, and they've been working with Al Jazeera for a long time. And it's a ridiculous claim, to be honest.
Yeah, all the journalists, all the doctors, all the teachers, for them, all of them are part of Hamas.
Yeah.
That's the excuse they use it to target.
Of course, and the thing is, that Hamas is the ruling power over Gaza, right? And the administration, the civil administration of Gaza, was assigned and employed by Hamas. Yeah, that's 100% sure. But these people are civilians. This is why there's always a difference between a political faction of a specific government and the military faction. And in wars, you're not supposed to attack these civilian faction of a government, because these are civilians. These are they're students, they're professors, they're teachers, they're doctors, they're journalists, they're paramedics, they're security forces, police forces. These are not fighting forces.
But they're targeted because these are the people that can make the difference. That's why they're targeted.
Yeah, like all the basically people who can provide any type of help or something useful. But one thing that I always believed in, especially being in media and everything, is citizen journalism. And I know it can go totally wrong because you can have infiltrators who report on the wrong things. But citizen journalism, there's a sense of realness and rawness to it that you don't get from professional journalism.
I agree. But sister, if you let me add a statement to the reason that they're attacking civilians I believe, is because they're cowards.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
If they weren't cowards, they would go in and fight Hamas face to face, right? But
Exactly.
they're not doing that. They're getting on their planes and they're bombarding Gaza from the sky, and they're killing civilians without any remorse or any empathy.
Especially kids.
Yeah.
Definitely. And when we're speaking of killing, our next topic is a sad one. It's a TikToker who was getting on, becoming more and more famous. I've never personally heard of him before this week.
Breaking news. TikToker Joshua died by suicide at the age of 18, leaving millions of fans heartbroken. The shocking news of his tragic death on March 19th, 2025, has shaken the entire social media community. Known for his charming smile, creativity, and relatable content, Joshua was more than just a TikToker. He was a source of comfort and happiness for countless followers during tough times. The reason behind Joshua's suicide remains unknown, leaving fans desperate for answers. Social media platforms are flooded with emotional tributes from fans and fellow creators, all mourning the loss of such a bright soul.
He goes by the name of Joshua Blackledge. He is an there's different reports. Some say 16, some say 18-year-old TikToker who was apparently always posting positive content, making people laugh, entertaining people. And he died this week. Now, there is a lot of, we don't know really what happened yet. There is a lot of speculations about suicide. And we want to say this with a trigger warning here. Okay. His girlfriend came out and was very upset about this speculation. It was another speculation was he was bullied at school, which she denied as well. And why I find these things very important is it always puts the impact of social media in question for me, because there's a lot of people who took their own life because they posted a picture and they didn't get enough likes. They posted a video and they didn't get enough likes. They were very, they went up on the fame ladder quite high, and then all of a sudden they dropped or it started declining. And I find it very interesting how much we still cannot really gauge social media and its impact because it's very new. But there was an article written, there was a study made, and it said that social media breeds narcissism, which I do agree with 100%. I see it because it comes from people not getting the attention they want and then going crazier and further with their actions. What do you guys think?
I agree 100%.
Well,
Like it's like a drug.
sister, I think social media, my own opinion, I think social media should be regulated, to be honest, specifically for children and for people under 18 that are still developing and still trying to understand the world as it is. Because when you're at that age, 16 years old, you're still, to me, you're still very, very young. And there's a lot of things or a lot of experiences that you haven't experienced, right? And trying to be an influencer or trying to be famous on TikTok is a hell of a job, to be honest. It's extremely difficult, both mentally and physically. And as a 16-year-old or a teenager, I think it's very dangerous, specifically for the mental well-being, because you haven't gotten to a point where you actually understand everything, right? So I think that children should be regulated on TikTok, and I don't think that. And to be honest, I never understood the early year celebrity kind of thing. If we look at the children who have been celebrities throughout my lifetime, most of them have either committed suicide or been hooked up on drugs, or have had their lives turned upside down. And they're not, they haven't, been able to continue in the way that they thought they would continue growing up. So I think celebrity status as a child, I think, should be regulated. To be honest, I don't think it's a good idea. I think children should develop normally, have a normal childhood, live a life where they are children and they feel that they're children. But the stress of a job at 15 or 14 or 13, I think it's extremely stressful for a child. Whether it's in the movie business, the song, the singing business, social media, whatever it is, I think it's a stressful thing. I think children should just go to school, get educated, and once they graduate, if they want to have a career in influencing, be celebrity, acting, it's up to them.
Would you allow your daughter?
For me, no. I wouldn't allow my daughter. but
what are you saying, right?
But see, that's the thing, sister. I can't regulate. What I'm calling for, what I'm advocating for, is the regulation for children. I can't do it for adults. I can't go out and say, okay, celebrities are not even allowed even as adults. I can't do that. But what I can advocate for,
I wish we could.
I wish I can, but what I would advocate for is at least give the child their childhood before they get to a point where they have to stress about being in a movie or singing songs or going on stage or doing all the things that A person who's in his 20s or his early 20s or his late 20s gets so stressful about. So you can imagine what a child goes through.
100%.
Yeah. And also the competition to be the best becomes so unhealthy and toxic, right?
But this
They,
is
they,
what
they are
breeds
not
it.
prepared. Mhm. Go ahead.
No, that's all I wanted to say. That the competition breeds the narcissism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
100%.
because healthy competition is good. Like
Yeah.
concurrence, like you find in sports, you know, when
Yeah.
a discipline, be the best. But when something is out, you control like a trend, and then you fail because doesn't matter. It's always someone doing something crazier. It's become toxic, and this in the brain of these children are not prepared to handle it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I don't know if you guys
definitely.
seen a couple of years ago, was it 2 or 3 years ago, where a Russian TikToker, she went on the highest, I think it was, I don't know how she got up on a building somewhere and she was trying to take a selfie, and then, I mean, she fell to her death. I
Oh,
mean, that's insane.
Yeah, it's
it's
insane.
insane.
The things that people do are insane. Seriously.
And you'd sacrifice your life for a selfie? I mean, so you guys can understand the mental
Compromise.
problems. Yeah, the mental problems that these people are going through. That for a selfie,
How old was she? How old was she? 16?
I think she was like a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm not sure her age, but she was a Russian. I mean, you could search it on Google. A Russian that falls to her death taking a selfie.
Because my question there would be like, where are the parents?
No,
How you
but
don't know that your
you
child is
cannot,
on
you
a
cannot,
building?
you cannot, because a 16-year-old goes to school by herself. She goes meets her friends by herself. You
Okay.
can't. Unfortunately, that's what creates the problem. And she is not the only one. Do you know how many there is? But what I find interesting, obviously, because we're not going to talk about it because we don't have any. I don't have the list here. Do you know, guys, that there were like at least 10 famous YouTubers who were killed? They didn't kill themselves. They didn't commit suicide. They were actually murdered.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
probably because of competition, right, Ness?
I've always wondered.
Either it was competition, or it was jealousy, or it
Yeah.
was envy, or it was some kind of robbery, or it was. So I mean, this is the thing: you're putting your children at risk for something that's not worth it. To be honest, I mean, I'd rather have a child that's healthy, living normally with normal amounts of money, than have a child that's rich,
Yeah.
but stressed and always needing a psychologist or a therapist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, guys, if you look at like, let's say, one of the biggest examples for me was Britney Spears, right? I mean, she
Yeah.
started her career as a teenager. Look at her today. I would say she's totally insane.
Which is very sad because of the lithium they fed her and everything that they made her go through. But there is this for people who might be interested or so. I found it interested. I don't personally, I stopped listening to music a very long time ago, right? But I'm still always interested in like, what happened to that person. Oh, that's my childhood, like that's what we listened to or whatever. There is this thing called Unsung. I don't remember which channel it was on, but you can find it on YouTube. And it actually talks about what happened to the artists from the past. And every single one of them, they had some tragedy happening to them. And I got, because I just love like suspenseful things and stuff. So I was really, really, really glued on this Unsung series. And there is like this group, I forgot, I think they're called Zap or something like that. And then the guy, they were like two brothers and some other people in this band. That was the craziest story that stood out to me. So they were two brothers, and then one of them started a solo career and he was quite successful with it. And can you believe they had an argument, the two brothers, because I guess he wanted to leave the group or whatever, and the one brother shot the other brother for that.
Wow.
And then he shot himself.
Yeah, well, sister, it also reminds me of the what's his name, the Backstreet Boys, Nick Carter's brother.
Oh my God,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That
I mean,
child.
he also started as a child. He was successful as a child, and then his career went downfall. He started taking drugs. He started fighting with his family.
Yeah.
And he committed suicide in the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
this is what you get. I mean, sister, I gotta be honest.
Mm.
I don't trust myself with $1 million or $10 million. So can you imagine trusting a child with it?
That is such a humble statement. Oh my gosh. That is such a humble statement that you just made. I can't.
Because I mean,
Wow.
as a firm believer in God, I think that it's a lot harder, because even Prophet Muhammad said that it's a lot more difficult for a wealthy person to enter heaven
Yeah.
than it is for a poor person. And why? Because once you're wealthy, you have a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
And if you are a person that's irresponsible and unable to manage your financing, it's really difficult. So these children, once you give them $1 million or $10 million for a song, what do you expect them to do? They buy the best cars, they buy the best houses, and then once they've fulfilled all of their needs as material things, they start going into an area that is drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very dangerous, I think.
And the thing is, these kids, right, or everybody for that matter, they get actually kind of like pushed indirectly to buy these cars, these houses, these flashy things, these clothes, because that is how you pacify someone. You make them feel like, oh my God, they made it. People feel like they made it when they have a Rolex, when they wear designer clothes, when they have a particular car or multiple cars. So this is very easy. That's how you pacify these people. And then you make them controllable. You in a way, it's grooming.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And it's never enough. They always want more and more and more.
Yes, that's the problem.
These text messages very likely included classified U.S. intelligence. And the entire time, nobody seemed to realize that a private citizen without security clearance had access to this conversation. Mr. President, this is one of the most stunning breaches of military intelligence I have read about in a very, very long time.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they?
Okay, so we have Jeffrey Goldberg. He is the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. From what I know, The Atlantic were not always reporting the true side of the stories, but yeah, this person apparently, allegedly, was accidentally added to a Signal chat. First of all, this is a great promotion for Signal, and I think the app sucks. This person who owns it, this Matthew Rosenberg, you need to fix that app, bro. It's not cool. It's actually not fun. It doesn't.
That was my favorite news of the week.
It doesn't look good, and it's not user friendly. You know, like you need to get a page from WhatsApp or Telegram or something. Just saying, Mr.
Wait, are you
Rosenberg.
blaming the app for
No,
that
the
mistake?
app is
that
ugly. I just was always waiting for an
Dude.
opportunity to say that out loud.
Dude, totally use Signal. Totally use Signal.
Ew. No.
No, they expose how incompetent these people are.
Oh, let me give
I'm
you another
sorry.
perspective on that story, though. But
Okay.
so the story is, what's the story? You want to say it?
No, you say it.
Oh my
Say
goodness.
it better.
No, that's not true. So this person was added to a group chat of the white people. The white people. See, are you sure I'm better?
Go ahead.
Are you sure I'm better? The people from the White House. So the White House people. Okay, he was added to that chat, and he was sitting in front row, receiving all the messages about how they're going to attack Yemen.
But who added?
Mike Waltz.
Wasn't the my boss, and he's what? This from the defense, right?
He's the
Minister of
security, the national
The
security.
security, the guy at a reporter to a secret
I-
group chat.
You guys believe that this is a real story?
Why? You think that it was on purpose?
I definitely don't believe this to be real.
What?
Yep.
What do you mean?
Are you seriously telling me that these people don't have an internal apps where they hold their conversations about these very important matters? That there are not
They should.
50,000? They have.
Sister Ness, if you allow me to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are clowns.
Yep.
Exactly.
I mean, the Trump administration and all of his goons. I mean, Pete Hegseth, for example, is a guy on Fox News, and
Exactly.
now he's the Secretary of Defense. I mean, they're clowns. They have no experience in government.
I get all of that, but there's still measurements that are taken. I'll tell you why.
And the problem they are, and he should use those like
Guys,
a group chat.
Out of all
and
people, they're gonna add somebody who was part of the IDF, who was a prison guard for the IDF, so he was probably participating in torturing Palestinians. And not only that, he proceeded to write a book about it. You guys believe that they accidentally added this person to a group chat on Signal. And then this is all entertainment. And this is exactly because these people are clowns. I don't believe the story. Because all these people do is trying to get attention by any means necessary. Bad propaganda is still press. Anybody talking, like when we look at the press conference with Elon's son when he was telling Trump to shut up and that he's not the president, from we're going to displace the Palestinians in Gaza, from nobody said we're going to displace them, from everything that Trump is doing is a mockery. So I don't believe this. I feel this is a great distraction to get people talking about this when and they do these kind of moves when there is always some serious stuff in the background going on.
Well, sister, okay, so the 2025 project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Banner, he came out in an interview once, and he said one of the ways that we can get the 2025 project moving forward is to keep providing media outlets with horrific or unbelievable news stories so that they can't catch up to what we're actually doing. So so there could be truth to what you're saying by them creating, for example, I'm going to buy Gaza. I'm going to go to Gaza and create a Riviera. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And every day they come out with different stories for the media so that the media can't keep up with what the Trump administration is doing while they're working in the background to complete the 2025 project.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 2025 project, it actually states how they're going to try and move the media away from the actual things that the Trump administration is doing by providing unbelievable stories like Greenland story, right? I want to buy Greenland, or the vice president going to Greenland because what they're doing is these media outlets they're not catching up to everything that these people are saying, and it's difficult for them to provide a story because, for example, a story like Signal would have probably, if it was during the Biden administration, it would have, kept on going for 3, 4, 5 weeks, probably months. But every day they come up with some strange comments that it's that the media outlets are not catching up to that.
I'm telling you, I'll stand on what I say because furthermore, seriously, you're going to add that person and then he's going to expose it and get away with it, and other people, all they do is just write an article or stand with Palestine, they get deported? You guys, seriously.
It's privilegedness. They can do whatever you want. I can do nothing.
Well, he can do whatever he wants because that's beneficial to them. Anything that's beneficial to them.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't believe the story, not even one bit.
So I might agree with you on this, actually. If I think back on what Steve Banner said, I might agree on that.
What country are you? Wait, what country are you from? The UK. Okay, we don't give a about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem? Okay, and you no. You should care about your own borders.
Do you care about American lives?
No. Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Do you care
no,
about
by migrants? No. Do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't care.
Service members fighting for your country.
I don't care about your fake news. Do you have a relevant question? Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
There you have it. And we're staying with the White House. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgusting person. I was shocked that one woman could be so disgustingly disrespectful. So she disrespected a UK journalist for who was asking a question. And she said, we don't give a crap about what was going on, what your opinion is, and on your reporting. And when an American journalist said, okay, I'm going to ask something, she's like, okay, you can. And he said, I want to hear the answer to her question. She started lashing out again. Do you guys
That was beautiful.
But
I love the way she said.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, well, sister, for me, I have one comment for this Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's crazy. I really have no other thing to say about her. I mean, if you look back at every political stance that she took and every foreign policy stance that she took and every, she's not normal. I mean, she's not normal at all. I mean, I think she's extremely racist. I think I also believe she's anti-Semitic. I think she's she's a xenophobe. I think she's anti-color, anti-anything. She's. I mean, to me, she's even anti-foreigner, right? I mean, when a foreign journalist is asking her a question, she told her, "I'm not answering any foreign journalists. I'll deal with the Americans." I mean, can you imagine that?
That's when they choose to put America first.
Yes, but I want to ignore Marjorie because Marjorie means nothing. She's an awful person. But I want to highlight the work of the American journalists standing up and support the UK journalists. That was the best part of the video. You know, saying like, no, we're going to hear what she has to say. Stand up with each other against this kind of behaviors. I want to highlight that part.
100%. 100%. Okay, we come into our next documentary, and that is No Other Land. We're going to have to talk about it again, unfortunately, because one of the directors, the Palestinian director, Hamdan Bilal, he was brutally attacked by settlers. He was trying to run away with some activist friends. There's a lot of activists who go to the West Bank to actually protect the Palestinians from settlers when they go get water, the farmers, like a bunch of people, when they have to go from A to B, they go to basically like bodyguards. And so he was injured. The ambulance came, the IDF came. So the ambulance couldn't really take him away. Instead, the IDF got him and arrested him. He's out by now. But I will ask the question here as well. Do you guys think that the settlers recognize him?
Last night on the West Bank, life not just imitating art, an extension of it too. Hamdan Bilal, here in the white, walking through frame, is attacked by settlers outside his home near the village of Sousia in the West Bank. Less well-known Palestinian farmers in this area are regularly intimidated in this way. Hamdan, though, is famous. Along with his co-directors, just won an Oscar for the documentary No Other Land. According to activists who were with him and filmed these scenes, here's what happened. Just after sunset, the director heard a commotion outside. He left his house to investigate.
Hey, no!
There was a confrontation with a group of around 15 settlers. Israeli police and military were present, but didn't intervene at first. When they did, Bilal and 2 other Palestinians were arrested, along with an Israeli. The IDF's version of events goes like this. They say the incident started with, quote, several terrorists hurling stones at Israelis. Then, according to the IDF, a violent confrontation broke out involving mutual rock hurling, in which a number of people were apprehended.
And I actually believe that they were sent to him.
Oh, yeah, that's a point.
I believe they were specifically targeting him, and I believe that they were sent to him. I believe they were given his location. And yeah, 100%, sister. I mean, this is a no-brainer for me because of what the things that these people do. But yeah, I agree.
And as we talked about last time, this documentary is, despite the Oscar, is on the BDS list.
Yeah. Boycott and what?
Divest
Boycott,
and sanction.
divest, and
Sanction.
Yeah.
Sanction. Boycott, divest, and sanction. Yes.
So it's still on the list, and we heard obviously now different opinions, like people saying, but that's the only way we can get our story heard, which I agree with. But I trust the BDS movement for now.
Well, yeah, I trust the BDS movement, to be honest. But I would also say something else. I mean, there are exceptions, and I think this should have been given an exception, specifically because you're doing exactly what the U.S. authorities have requested, is that nobody see the documentary, and we actually should allow people to see it. To be honest, I mean, it's important for other people to see it. And I don't think that they took a right, turn on this. I think that they should have not sanctioned it or put it on the BDS list.
I can understand the principle of it, though.
I understand the principle of it, but I think they should have at least put an exception on it. I mean, they should have, they could have mentioned it, that this is a documentary, it was produced, and they should have given more information on it. And they could have said that because of the specific circumstances, we would have liked to sanction it, but because of the 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the issues are, we decided not to. So I think.
What if I tell you that people supporting this documentary gets only the people paid who are not supposed to get paid, or the other side, but not the Palestinians who participated? Would you still
it wouldn't matter to me, sister. The reason I would say this, you see, when the Palestinians are doing a documentary, I don't think they're doing it for money. I believe they're doing it out of resilience, and I think that they're doing it because they want their voices heard. And the only way to get their voices heard if they dealt with a Israeli collaboration, right? So I think because, let's be honest, if it was a Palestinian 100% made documentary, it wouldn't move off the ground. And I don't think it would have even gotten to where it gotten today.
Absolutely. Okay, we have some good stuff as well.
I wanna go back to the attack. Like, al-Nashmi has a great point saying like he's a well-known person, so there is no question the probably was targeted. But this is normal in the West Bank. This happens every day to everyone. Yeah. They attack people for no reason. They intimidate every single person that lives in the West Bank. So yes, it is. He's a famous person, so the assumption that he was targeted, yes, is valid. But it happens every single day. This is a normal practice for the sellers to attack people in the West Bank.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, yes. Everything that Maria says is 200% true. But we have also some good news. So Namibia, the country that was going through a genocide between 1904 and 1908, committed by the Germans, is upping their game. They have a brand new president, and it's a female president. Okay, her name is, oh my God, I'm gonna butcher it. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. Okay, so they call it Triple N, which is much easier. And she has a vice president, and that president is called Lucia Witbooi, which is much easier. I don't know if I said it right, so my bad, guys. And Namibia is doing one thing. They're putting in now a visa restriction on about 30 countries, the US being part of it, UK, Germany, France, the Netherlands, many countries, Western countries who are able to travel there. And if you think, who cares, like nobody's going to Namibia ever, well, wrong. You need to fact check it, because tourism is actually really working well in Namibia. A lot of people go there, especially from these countries, and I don't think it's going to keep the people away. It's just meaning more paperwork and more more like work to get there, and they have to pay for it now and everything. And I think it's about time that Africa puts its foot down. All these Western countries being like able to come in and out when and as they want. What do you guys think?
It's a great news.
Yeah, I think what she's doing is great. I don't know if you guys heard recently. She's also been reducing the expenditure for Namibia. She's also trying to diverse the economics in Namibia. So I think I'm hoping that for once that these people can actually, live better, right?
There is no ministry that you cannot plan to eradicate poverty in our country. Therefore, all government offices, ministries, and agencies will be required to put in place programs that aimed at eradicating poverty and speed up socio-economic development.
Oh, yeah.
It's a step to the right direction for sure. We need to see her actions, of course.
And I don't know if you guys seen her inaugural address. She was also really focused on corruption. So,
ooh, there you go.
Yeah, so hopefully that she actually does something that, and she limited. They had 21 government ministers before, but now she's limiting them to 14 because she's trying to lower the costs of the government expenditure.
Love it.
Yeah, hopefully she gets it right. But guys, I have to be honest, it's extremely difficult, especially in Africa. The demographics there and what the colonization of Africa has done to the people. I mean, I think it's going to take a long time for them to get back on their feet. But we pray for them always, of course.
Absolutely.
That's why I say, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's why I said like this is a great step in the right direction, but we still have to see how the things develop for her. But it looked promising, but the pressure is high.
100%. She also has a female finance minister, which is, I guess, I don't know, for those people who believe in female leadership. Mm-hmm. Maria.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't.
I already saw the comments on the last video, so I stay quiet here.
No, everybody's entitled to have their opinion. So I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but whatever. So yeah, I think that's amazing. And Namibia is such a poverty-driven country, unfortunately. And I was involved in a kindergarten project over there, and it was actually really sad that they have barely any schools or kindergartens in certain areas, where children with 3 years old, 4 years old, have to walk for miles to go to the kindergarten. And because the parents can't always take them, they get lost, they don't come back, they get kidnapped, all kind of thing. It's really awful. So whenever you feel like that your life sucks, just remember these kind of people and what they have to go through.
Yeah, exactly. I always tell my wife and my daughter that you should always, no matter how stressful life is, always look at the less people who haven't been fortunate. And it always gets easier for you once you do. And you should thank God for what you have, right?
100%.
Amen.
100%. And this is the thing, like we need to remember to always stay humble.
Exactly.
We have some more good news. So Sudan, they've been going through it for the past years, and the displacement is undescribable. What the atrocities are undescribable. The killing is undescribable. What people are generally going through is just not. It's just not. There's no words for it. There's really no words for it. But the Sudanese army managed to liberate Khartoum, which is the capital, and the RSF, funded by the UAE. I have to use every given chance to make sure that people know about it and remember it. We're forced to retreat. They still run certain areas, but at least Khartoum is now not in their hands anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's great news. Specifically, that I think that the rapid force was being supported by some factions. I don't want to mention their name. I think everybody knows who they are, and I think that the current civil war. I mean, it actually, guys. I mean, I have a friend of mine. He's a Sudanese citizen, and he's been personally affected by this.
Oh my God!
His mother passed because she couldn't find insulin, and his brother was kidnapped, and they don't know where he is.
Wow!
And they believe probably he's, martyred. But we pray for them, and hopefully that the military is able to take back the country, and get the democracy that the Sudanese people deserve, to be honest, because it's been a long road for them, specifically with what happened, and I think it's just disgraceful, to be honest.
It's heartbreaking. It's crazy that we are far away.
And guys, let's not also forget the starvation also in Sudan. I mean, people are facing hunger, and it's so we should also try as much as we can to support them as well.
100%.
Hopefully.
And donate as much as you can. Is to our viewers, to our listeners. If you can donate, please research it. We can provide you also links. But it's important to support this country, Sudan, the Congo.
Yes.
The reality is, it's a living in hell. And I know that we are just normal civilians, but every single little help that you can, it can change a life, at least one person, right?
Absolutely.
So I encourage everybody to donate. If you want to donate and you don't know where, just shoot us an email or a comment, and we can provide you verified sources.
Thank you, Mary.
So, guys, we're coming to the end. That's it for this week. Maria, how do you feel?
Thank God. Oh, thank God, the longest hour.
Come on, Maria.
Don't say that. I even have your song here and everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you look great, sister. Shouldn't. I mean, it's great seeing you, and it's great putting a face to voice, right? So, guys, on the comments or whoever's watching, you should be waiting for putting the face on my voice, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Oh my God! Don't stop.
Listen, you started.
They're not gonna leave you alone.
Oh my God! You started something here now. You started something. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness. Well, okay. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I hope you appreciate Maria's effort. And she will be on camera every week. And guys, this was not easy. Literally, I have to blackmail her for this. And if you only knew what I have to blackmail her with. But that's a different story.
No, guys, they're gonna start asking now. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This was fun. A little bit.
A lot. A little bit, a lot. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on.
No, please.
Oh, you will be back.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sister.
All right, guys, that's it for this week. Oh, hold on. I was supposed to stop the recording at some point, right? Okay. Okay, guys. So see you guys next week with a brand new episode, and peace out.